Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Hello, hello. It is so good to see you all. I believe we are live. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks like Stream Health is good to go. Now, why is my monitor here a little bit behind? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. But I'm gonna assume you guys can hear me at least for now, or who knows? Maybe if I'm live, maybe if I'm not. YouTube app is being super weird. Oh yeah, it's just not even loading. There we go. Okay, cool. So that works out. I want to wish everybody a happy Bitcoin ETF day. Now that it's done, now that it's out, we can finally stop talking about it. And we can finally go back to focusing on all the other cool stuff that is happening around the space, specifically gaming. It looks like, and I was just tracking the price this morning, so everything went live. It looks like we bounced off of 48. Actually, no, we bounced off of 49, and we're headed back down. So, sell the news event. It is, or it seems, which I kind of been saying for a minute. Now, granted, I'd love to be wrong. Don't get me, I would love to be wrong and for this to rocket to like 60, 70K or hit a new all-time high. But you know what's an interesting what's interesting? Let's go to Google here, Google Trends. I think this is what I want to look up. Is this it? Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin. Stop doing that, computer. Why is this not working? Okay, so this is past day. No, let's look at the past 5 years. Am I looking at this right? Oh, search term. What the hell is wrong with you, Google? Bitcoin. There we go. Over the past 5 years. Okay, so you can see 2021, check how high it was. Look at where we are now. I don't know if this is like speculation or what these dots are, but we're nowhere near there. So what's interesting about the Bitcoin ETF, in my opinion, is that the only people interested in the Bitcoin ETF are the ones that aren't planning on buying it, because we all understand custodying your own assets or holding the actual thing. Now, that being said, I'm sure there's a lot of folks who have capital tied up in IRAs and 401ks that may jump over. But again, this is at what? 22? We'll say 26 this past week. And when we were in massive euphoria mode, what is, I guess this is technically 100 that we hit. So, and then even following, massive euphoria mode. And then what was this in June of 2022? What happened then? Oh, was that the Terra Luna collapse? Celsius went down. So a lot of interest there because Bitcoin was once again a scam. And then this is probably around the FTX time, but see, people just stopped caring. So more people were paying attention during FTX last year, or I guess a year plus, to Bitcoin than they are now, which is massive. So, for everybody who's like, oh, I'm late. Nah, you still might be early. Who knows? A new proposal, man. We just keep getting these left and right. I'm not even paying attention anymore. Let's see what we got. Is this my guess is the bonds? SushiSwap bonds. Sure. Let's vote for it. Why not? All right. Let me do this and then we'll hop back into the chat and see how the rest of the crypto markets actually specifically like I don't even want to call it Splinterlands, but like the Hive ecosystem or whatever is being tracked here. So there is that. Oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Why is it being so slow? Here we go. Powis, nice. I'm first. Oh, welcome. Wibblewee, second. It's all good. We're just having some fun here today. I've lost like 5 straight games in Splinterlands, so I've quit again. I think I need to get the bot back because I'm spending too much time playing, and I don't like that. It's making me very unproductive, even though I enjoy the game. So let's see. SPS is up 6%. It's kind of tracking nicely with Bitcoin, but not as well with all the other alts. 18 for Cardano, almost 14% for Gala. Fascinating. Vouchers, even though conflicts have not officially been announced, vouchers at 3.7, so almost 3.8. That's interesting. We keep seeing SPS get unstaked, which is an interesting movement for me. We can't seem to stay at 745. I don't know if you guys have been tracking this, but at least the last day or two, it's like we'll get to 745 and then I'll check this and it says 744. So people are actively unstaking their SPS, which just goes to show there's no supply crunch. There's a lot of people who have a lot that they probably sell at 3.5 or 4 cents, especially if you bought in at 1.3. All right, we've burned 718,000 Rebellion packs. Let's see, we're at, what is this? 81.2 plus 546.7. So we're doing like 1,000 to 2,000 packs a day ish. Yeah, since the beginning of the year. Oh, maybe not even. So pack sales have definitely slowed down. Oh, this is huge. Check this out. Estimated value is now below pack price. So arbitrage is gone. People aren't buying packs. This makes so much more sense now. And so Rebellion about a month in has hit the brakes. And I don't know that we're going to see it. I don't know that we're going to see it ramp up anytime soon unless Bitcoin really rips through like 50, 60K or the other narrative comes in for gaming. But I really don't see that narrative coming in until post-halving. I think right now everybody's just excited about Bitcoin. Maybe some folks will take their profit in, but I think we end up burning a majority of packs between now and the summer, which probably means no flywheel action. And yeah, I'm being super bearish. Papa Bear's back in the house today. All right, let's see. Alex says, we've been talking here for a year about Bitcoin ETF. Just buy. Indeed. I mean, Bitcoin ETF is for everybody who doesn't understand Bitcoin but wants exposure. And there's massive pools of capital, all right? Pension funds, IRAs, 401ks, all that will now have access to it. Regulated access to it. Enigma code, what is going on? The ETM is dumb. It's for dumb people who can't figure out how to buy Bitcoin. Yeah, which is why I'm saying all of the people who would buy the ETF are not even paying attention to Bitcoin right now. So until and unless there's like massive marketing done by BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, like I'm waiting to see if I'm going to get an email from like one of these institutions telling me like, hey, we now have a Bitcoin fund. Because if I wasn't paying attention to crypto, if I wasn't paying attention to Bitcoin or the ETF, I'd have no idea, nor would I care. There's like way too many other things going on in the world right now. I mean, there's always other things going on in the world. We live here in our little crypto bubble, right? So, see, look, already down to 46. Oh, well, it's 47. But I took my profit at 48 this morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm good. If it rockets higher, I'm happy, and if it doesn't, then I think there'll be still opportunities to get in before the bull run really starts to take off. But we shall have to wait and see on that. All right, where were we looking at? Oh yeah, Rebellion. So let's check out the prices on some of these cars. Does anybody have what website was it where you could go and check the price of cards over time? Because I would love to see that for Rebellion cards. I want to see what is actively being kind of sold or arbitraged down. So Mantaroth, let's see. Okay, Mantaroth and Grimbardoon, we all know that these guys are probably, I don't want to say that it's a fixed supply, right? So as those get eaten up off the marketplace, then that'll be cool. But the rest of the market, let's actually do this. Let's go to Summoners and see. So I remember seeing Avina at 250. So coming down to 220 is a 10% drop. And let's see, what's the liquidity like? There's not much. There's not much below. So you got people just trying to move some product here. But 250, yeah, so look at this liquidity at 250. I mean, that's a significant chunk. So maybe this estimated value, or lower estimated value, I should say, is not very, may not be very permanent, right? We're going to be bouncing around. But still, I don't know. I'm not seeing the desire for folks to jump in and buy packs. I mean, you can see that, right? Just not many packs are selling. Prophet Rosa, 73 cents. Wait, so hold up. You can get Prophet Rosa at 71 cents. Man, remember how long Kelia was at like $2 or $4 or something like that? 0.71 times 115. I mean, you can get a max copy of this thing for $80 right now. So Avina's the only one that's like pushing the limit here, which makes sense. But even Underboss, what, you can get that for $1.20, so it's about 150, 135. Now, how much is it for these guys? Let's see, 0.46 times, what is it, 400? Oh, yeah. Whoa, it's crazy that the common summoners are more expensive from a total dollar value. Fascinating. Very, very fascinating. Okay, let's get away from the summoners. I'll jump back into the chat in a minute. But let's get away from the summoners. Where is the floor level? Oh, you know, it's just easier to use the filters here. As much as I don't like these filters. Sorry, I'm like, I miss the old filters all on the top. I hate scrolling here. But I know the team worked hard to make it nicer. It's just I get used to something and I don't like it changing. But Chaos Lackey. All right, so remember when these were the floor was 7 cents for cards. Well, now you got Data Crash and Antonine. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of 5 cents. So we'll see if they decide to undercut each other more. Oh, these cards have come down too, right? Weren't they above 50 cents? Alex, we were just looking at these, right? Weren't they all like 50 something cents? Just the top two. I thought it was like Dagon Dark. Oh wait, I thought Nimble Duke was higher. Dagon. Oh no, I guess it was Dagon Dark and Lurking Puffer, but I guess there's a ton of Lurking Puffer on the horizon now. Interesting. 31. Fascinating. Okay. So some of these, I mean, you know, maybe it just lends credence to the argument that some of these cards are just not up to par with Chaos Legion, or what I would like to think, just because I think some of these cards are quite powerful, but Chaos Legion is just so freaking prevalent and heavy in the meta, just because there's so many cards already, and you're not running into many of these cards in ranked that's convincing you like, I'm consistently getting beat by Gobolano Soldier, right? So for example, here will be an instance where it's just like, all right, if I lose to Gobolano Soldier, it's not just Gobolano Soldier, right? This person is also using Uraeus and Tenyi Striker and any of the other like sneak attack monsters with a very powerful fire team. So I'm not looking at that and saying like, you know what? I got beat by Gobolano Soldier. No, I got beat by the sneak attack meta, of which Gobolano was a huge part, but I didn't lose because of him necessarily. And I'm thinking like to a specific battle where that happened, because now like on second thought, like analyzing it and 2020 hindsight, it's just like I think I would have lost either way, even if Gobolana wasn't there, just because I didn't prep for a very strong sneak attack with like a, Tarsa +1 melee. Now, again, that's not to say he's not a great card, but it is something to think about. Now, I'm not sure why Ulund Overseer is not a stronger card, but you know what? Maybe not. I was gonna say with weapons training, he becomes so valuable, but the problem, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen so far in the meta, is that there are not any weapons trainers that would make sense with him. Because this whole thing is like giving somebody flank, right? But if you're going to give someone flank, the only like melee weapons trainers that I know of are the fire one that has a reach already, and then the water one, which has opportunity. So they could, it doesn't really help. Now, you could use him as just like big boy, right? 16 mana, or I guess 15 mana up in gold, or sorry, 15 health. But he's 5 mana more expensive than Grimbardoon Smith. And I've seen, and Grimbardoon Smith reduces attack of both of the other cards, or both of the, all 3 attack types. All right, I don't know why this is owned so long. Oh, let's go back to market. All right, let's see. What did I miss here? I sold 25% of my SPS out of stake. Took last drop last week. Now playing with money. Got mine out. All right. Well, I hope you made something. Gold foil common summoners almost max. Had top bid for 5 days now. Nice. Well, congratulations on that. All the YouTube guys who hype packs didn't buy packs this round really hurt sales. All the YouTube guys who hype packs didn't buy packs this round really hurt sales. Am I one of the YouTube guys that didn't buy packs? I'm trying to think of who else didn't buy packs. I mean, Bulldog bought a ton of packs. He got on the summoner thing. Summoner design. I don't think Tails bought any packs. But I don't know. I was pretty clear that I'm not buying any packs. I compared Kelia to Avina price-wise, and Kelia was forever at like 3. Yeah, see, TWD Frodo? Like, that's what I remember too. It was the most powerful summoner of the set. Oh, whoops. Let's go back to... And it held its value so high, which goes to show just how propped up the market was with the bots for a majority of 2022, right? We launched December of 2021 was when it launched. You could actually play with the cards, but the general sale was January of 2022. And I'd say we had bots kind of propping up the market at least for 6 months until the new ranked rewards came in. But then it was ranked rewards, but it was the starter cards that were no longer able to earn. And then 6 months after that, in like October or November or something like that, they had where under-leveled cards would not be able to earn the max amount too. So all that ratings inflation just wasn't worthwhile for bots. But the thing is, we still have a decent amount of bots out there. It's just there's way too many Chaos Legion cards. So even if we got 50,000, let's say we have 50,000 bots now and about 1,000 or so real players, even if you double or triple the amount of bots playing bronze, even up into silver with 1 BCX or bronze level cards, they wouldn't be buying Rebellion cards. They would be buying Chaos Legion cards off the marketplace, of which, right? Let's see this. Of which Chaos Legion cards estimated value is $1. We have a ton of cards on the market already or just out in circulation, and then another 2.5 million packs that haven't even been opened yet. Plus, let's just be honest, would you say that any of these summoners are on a consistent basis beating Chaos Legion legendary summoners? I don't think so. Let's do this, for example. So if we go, well, let's just do all of Chaos Legion. We won't do rewards. And we won't do promo. I mean, check this, right? So I'm winning a ton. I don't know what a ton is, right? My win rate is slightly above 50%. I'm able to stay in gold 1 and be competitive. But when I lose, I'm not losing to Avina. I'm not losing to Underboss or Prophet. I don't even see Prophet Rosa anywhere. The cards that I consistently lose to, right, would be like mirror matches of Immortalis or Possibilis the Wise or Lily Shieldpaw using Grimbardoon Smith, right? So you take a look at this and it's just like, whether you're a new player, whether you are setting up bots or whatever the case is, Avina the Wolf is going to cost you over $200, almost probably over $250 to max out. Whereas you could get a Grandmaster Wraith for like $55. So from a dollar perspective, it's, 20% of the cost. And then from a mana perspective, you're only paying one more. So Chaos Legion really is still a problem. Still a massive, massive problem. And land, as was promised, did not fix it. Not yet. Not yet. So I know I'm being a little too bearish, but I'm saying not yet. Not yet, guys. Okay. It's probably going to take another year or so, which is going to be interesting to see. And the reason I say it's going to take another year or so is because we need all the elements of 1.6 and we need to start getting elements of 2.0 that encourage people to actually get these cards and start staking them on land. I'm hoping that happens in 2024, but keep in mind, whether or not we want it to, Rebellion is done in December of this year at the latest. So all that potential revenue, all of the cards coming, down in value, whatever, like, I don't know, it could be interesting. But once again, I said this before, I made videos about it. I think Rebellion is going to be similar to Untamed. So I'm going to put this out there. I know that I said I was going to slowly work my way into Rebellion, and I will, right? But if I'm thinking long term, I'm not committing to this necessarily, but I'd like to, right? If I can up my gaming budget later this year, I may just abandon Chaos Legion Rift Watchers. I may just abandon trying to max those out because I don't know, 3 to 6 months, we'll see how many cards for Rebellion are out there. I might be once again thinking ahead to 2025, at which point Rebellion is going to be like the Untamed, and whatever that new set that comes out for Modern is going to be interesting. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna text him back. All right. We'll see if they respond via text. Hopefully it's nothing, not an emergency. Oh my goodness. Please stay there. All right. Let's get back to the chat. Common summoners are more scarce. Yeah, well, it's not just that. You need like over three times the BCX, right? For common summoners. Yeah, 115 to 400. That's a lot. Yo, Steve. I hope you're doing well too, my friend. Happy New Year. I hope things are going well. People's Guild is in the house. Let's go. All right. Too many of the commons don't give you any upgrade unless you're playing Gold Plus, and don't really give you any reason to level up, speaking from Silver. There are very few that are worth maxing out. Yeah, I would say that the only times those are really relevant or that I see them use is in silent summoners, because then obviously it just comes down to the units that you can use, and having access to both is interesting. It doesn't seem as though there has been any kind of broken meta by combining units from two different things. Red X, what's going on? Thank you very much for liking. People's Guild, we have Virus on today's episode and chat all over Back to Basics. Oh man, I cannot wait to listen to that episode. Oh, I cannot wait. That's gonna be fun. I thought Virus was not necessarily, actually, I don't know what Virus's position on Back to Basics is. I don't know if I know many other folks, like Vet V, for example, thinks it's, it shows like it shows like pure skill or something, but yeah, I think it's boring as hell, so I don't want to play it anymore. In or out of Decrops? I'm still in. I'm sorry, I'm just not paying attention to what's going on there, outside of like I check in every other day or something just to like harvest my stuff, and then at the beginning of the season I'll set up my seeds. But I missed an entire season, I think, and then this season I was running late, so I didn't even bother with trying to go for the reward chests. So I'm hoping that when the next season rolls around, I'll be in a better spot. Are they doing another like winter event? Oh, they are doing an Xmas event. Yeah, so you know what? I'm late. I'm late to this also. I know that there's the Decrops collab with Splinterlands. That should be interesting. For 25,000 DEC, that should be fun. 1,000 of these NFTs will be sold. Wait, I still got candy canes? Oh, all right, cool. Hold up. Let's see what we can do with this. What can I do with my candy canes? Oh, I can get a present. Oh, I can't even afford a present for the candy cane. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm still playing. I got my stuff going on, but see, I didn't even bother with like new quests. So let's see, farm. There's 4 days left. So what's 4 days from now? Sunday, Monday? Yeah, I'll check in on Monday and try to start the new season and go from scratch. All right, where's Bitcoin at now? All right, so there we go. We're going down and another year round. You know what? Let me actually have it here. Hold up. I'm getting another message in this group chat, and I think there's some drama. I just got to make sure I'm not getting looped in. All right, whatever, that's fine. Not as fun as I thought it'd be. All right, Yvonne says, need some hype Rebellion-only tournaments? Yeah, well, once again, Rebellion-only tournaments should be focused on being live, because otherwise you kind of just take away the fun of tactics. Oh, Virus is here. What's going on, Virus? I heard some good things about your episode with People's Guild. Yvonne says, maybe a bonus in earning Rebellion rewards cards if you use Rebellion. Oh, well, that could be interesting. Huh. Remember they were talking about being able to earn like shards for packs essentially, and then you'd like use a voucher. What if it was something where like for every Rebellion card you used, you get a little like Rebellion bonus, and then like the more you use Rebellion cards, you like build up that thing where you can go redeem packs for maybe a discount or for vouchers. Now, I think it's a cool idea. I just don't think that there's the time. The team has the time or research to implement it. So, hello, Virus. How's the best time to buy Chaos? I think you're saying now's the best time to buy Chaos? Maybe. When Conspiracy, I need material. Oh, you know what? I know I've been saying we're overdue for it, but I'll tell you this. You know what? I'm going to try and give you a date. I'm going to talk with Darkest Night, and Walking Keys. Let's see. I'm going to try for the 27th, and mainly because this week and next weekend are completely devoted to football. They got the NFL playoffs starting. It's wildcard weekend, and then divisional round on the 20th. So the 27th will be like the first Saturday that there's no playoff football happening. I think that's the conference finals. Then both of those games should be on Sunday. So maybe we'll look to do it then. And I know we need to talk about the moon. I mean, I don't know what other topics would you like us to cover, Powis? I need to still do more research on the moon and all that. All right. So Blockchain says, "Are you ready for our first alt season of this cycle?" I am. Blockchain Projects. We need to see Bitcoin lead it, and I don't know that we're seeing Bitcoin pump as much as it needs to right now in order for there to be a sufficient alt season. Unless people took their profits from 45 to 48 and now they're going to put them into alts, but we shall see. I hope so. I'll be honest, even though I'm being a little bearish, I'm like counting on it. I would love to see it, because my thought process is we'd have a little pump and pop of whatever this ETF bubble is in January, maybe even to early February. And then my expectation is things go real quiet between February and the end of April when the Bitcoin halving happens. But again, that's just my thought. What do I know? It's certainly when they have their most earning potential in all parts of the game. Hold on, what are we talking about? Sorry, Virus. I think I must be behind on chat. All right, morning, Aaron Kennedy. Good to see you here. I picked up 3 more plots in 51. Now have 11 total. Let's go. I joined Decrops last week. Oh, well, congratulations. Welcome. So new Rebellion reward cards means current reward cards no longer soulbound. That is my hope, right? I hope we're able to unlock them even before the new Rebellion cards go live. So again, I kind of put my timeline for what I was hoping. And that we do get, by the end of Q2, we do get the new Rebellion reward cards. But if they can make soulbound reward cards unlockable this quarter, that would be fantastic. I just, until we get a roadmap or an idea of what they're trying to do, my expectations are all just more so a wish list rather than actual timelines. So anybody buying and opening Rebellion packs slow and steady, just crack my daily pack. Oh, Brandon's doing 1 a day. All right. Oh, gold foils. Very nice. I'm not doing anything specifically with Rebellion or Rebellion packs. And I haven't started my buys yet. But let's see. Where are we at right now? We need to be selling. We kind of need to be selling more packs to kind of stay on track of what we were hoping for. But you know what? It was never going to be that clean cut. I think at some point there is going to be a pump this year, whether it's this week, whether it's around the halving, whether it's over the summer. But there's going to be a pump at which hopefully SPS is higher than it is today, and people see the price of Rebellion packs valued in SPS as cheaper and decide to jump in. But I just don't think we've hit any kind of critical mass for people to really feel as though Rebellion is going to be the pack set that is like crucial for the meta, which sucks. I mean, it's good. It's good and bad, because it shows how well balanced it is. But at the same time, for everybody hoping for flywheel action and for tons of DEC getting locked up in the DAO and all that, it's not accomplishing that purpose. Let's see. All right. Sorry, I keep getting roped into a conversation here. Oh, Brandon's here. What's going on? Anybody? Oh, wait. Sorry, we did read that. Nice, Brandon. All right. So Bitcoin SIG, have you considered that they never make soulbound cards available for trade? It was Aggie who always wanted them to be tradable, and Matt not so much. Have I considered that they would never make soulbound available for trade? It was Aggie who always wanted them. Okay. No, I haven't considered that, and I'll tell you why. I don't think it's worthwhile to consider. Sure, it was Aggie that said that, but even Matt has talked about making them tradable. Now, even if Matt doesn't want to do that, changing it up last minute is going to piss a ton of people off. And I don't think that's what Matt wants to do. So let's say Matt decides to leave it up to the community and puts it to a vote. How do you think that vote will go? Especially because a lot of the top stakeholders are holding extras of all this stuff, and they've just kind of been wasting their time over the past couple of months because they have, a bunch of extra cards. So unless Matt makes a unilateral decision, which will be met with, in my opinion, like a really, really negative sentiment from the community, he either does that or he puts it to a vote, at which point I think the vote overwhelmingly passes for them to be tradable, or he just doesn't bother with either of those two actions and goes with what was originally stated and put out there. So I'll tell you this, if Matt comes out and chooses option 3 and says we're not planning to make them tradable, I will be really shocked. I'll give you credit, but I will be shocked. Now, that being said, when we talk about this from now just an objective, fully objective standpoint, right? Do I like the idea of rewards or cards being soulbound forever? Yeah, actually I do. Right. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm saying that some sentiment to things being changed is what's going to be terrible. I haven't thought through all the implications of like if they decide to do this. Now, if he wants to do that, then maybe he pushes for that with Rebellion. But I really just think that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, especially after having such a successful launch of Land and Rebellion and coming off, pretty solid December, for them to come out and say, yeah, we know we said we were going to do this, but now we're not going to. And, if you disagree, kick rocks. So imagine a 5% buff was available to your grain plot. Playing decrops within would be a fun integration. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool, but it's that there's no benefit for Splinterlands at that side. Like unless Splinterlands buys decrops, which I don't think they're gonna do. There's no benefit for them to like actually code in all that stuff, especially with all the other land things going on. I don't know. Maybe not. My Archon Faust is already maxed. Guess it goes to the market. Sale price is 4.4. Pack price profitable day. It came in late. You buy any positions in one or more of the BTC ETFs? No, I didn't today. I've been not a fan, but I've had exposure to GBTC for the last couple of years, and that's good enough for me. At some point, though, just because of the fees being way, way higher for GBTC, I will probably switch over, but I'm not in any rush right now. So, plus, if I'm going to buy Bitcoin, I really want the real thing. So, benefit would be Decrops has to use DEC. Again, see, so blockchain projects. Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic, but why would Decrops decide to use DEC as their permanent token when they've already minted, hundreds of thousands or millions of crop token. But again, it would make sense if it would make sense if they bought Decrops. But this is a one-off thing Decrops is trying to do to probably get more attention from the Splinterlands community, which is great, right? But it's really a one-sided thing. Decrops is doing all the work here and turning this into more of like a marketing event, because they're hoping that many of the Splinterlands players are going to look over and say, oh, well, hey, here's a project that has nothing to do with us, but it's trying to help our economy. Maybe let me go try and check it out and see what's up. And you saw some folks, or actually, was it you that just started playing Decrops? No, sorry, Powis, maybe. Powis just joined Decrops earlier this week, maybe because of that, right? So there's a brand new player there that, they can get to buy up the oversupply of beta packs, right? Everything else that's going on the Decrops side. Again, I'm not trying to hate on Decrops. It's a fun little game. I don't know where things are going long term with it though. That doesn't mean I'm not going to stop. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing it. It's just I just got distracted over the holidays. All right, so Bitcoin Sig. I think Matt's opinion was always on the side of having only soulbound rewards add variety to battles, since some people won't be able to have some cards by luck or not participating enough. Okay, are we speculating on Matt's opinion? Because I don't think I've ever heard him say this. I think we're projecting onto what Matt's opinion would be, because I've never heard him say this. Which again, I am not against the idea of soulbound reward cards permanently remaining soulbound. I just want to make that very clear. I'm open to, I think there's pros and cons to it. The only thing that I think is relevant to this conversation now, though, is I don't think they're going to change what they stated they were going to do a year ago, this far into the game. So I agree that there should probably be more soulbound stuff. It will probably reduce the amount of extraction that happens in the game, and people will be playing for all they need to play for. Like, here's the thing. Here's my hot take, right? If you want a really hot take on this, I don't think there should be any rewards of value, or I think it should be considered like any rewards of value except for SPS. You're already earning SPS from, every battle that you play. Every other reward should just be something that adds to your game experience and is not extractable. Again, that's like how many like monetary rewards do you need to feel happy about a game, right? Every single game you play, you're winning, or every single game you win, you're earning rewards. You don't need these cards to have value too. We saw what happened when that was the case, right? The system got exploited to hell. And it was not just the card exploit. It was the DEC exploit too. So there was a combination of things there. But I think that it is I think the less rewards you have available, the less opportunities for massive exploitation on the level that we saw in 2021 and 2022. Again, I like, at the end of the day, it's got to be the game that keeps people. So if they can't make the game fun, even with all the DeFi elements, and they have to like add too much value and whatever to get people to come in, you're just going to attract the wrong type of people. You're going to attract the people like me who came in like me, but decided to stay, the people that ended up not staying because rewards were coming down. Like the amount of comments that I'll see, especially like the salty or spicy ones here on the channel, every time I'll talk about something like this, is just super, in my opinion, entitled. It's like, oh, you're going to reduce my rewards further. And it's like, well, yeah, because we saw what happened when the rewards were so high earlier. Are you here for the rewards? Or are you here for the game? Or are you here for both? Right? Like, I get it. People don't like to see their rewards nerfed. I'm not trying to like hate on that. Maybe entitled was too strong of a word, but my whole point with this is like, I enjoy the game for what it is. I have a lot of high hopes for the game. Those high hopes are not as high as they were anymore, just because, scale has been scoped down. Our scope has been scaled down. In terms of like having like a high competitive arena or atmosphere. But I still think that they're doing it better than many of the other projects out there, right? There's very few other projects that I've come across, and I'm not well traveled on Web3, right? So don't take my word for any of this stuff. Make sure you do your own research. But in the stuff that I've come across, in terms of having a game that's actually addictive, has a fun like addictive loop in terms of like being playable. Yeah, there's very few projects out there that I've come across that have that element. Like even Parallel, like I love Parallel, but the amount of time I need to spend in Parallel to be good and to earn a lot and all that is it for myself and my time, or the time that I have available. It's just not worthwhile, right? Like I want to play the game because I enjoy the game, but in the same way that I don't play like a bunch of Web 2 games because I don't have time for it, I haven't been able to jump into Parallel as much. But I know there's people who love that kind of game, just like there's people who love Fortnite and first-person shooters and RPGs or whatever it is. So when games come along, do it well, and can incorporate some kind of earning and ownership element, I think that they're going to go really far, right? So if I can't spend my time in Parallel, for example, I'm buying the token because I'm bullish on it long term. But again, that's not financial advice. I'm just trying to give you a parallel, pun intended, to like my attitude with Splinterlands. Splinterlands is kind of perfect for me because I can go in and I can do 2 to 3 battles in 10 minutes, right? And it's fun, it's addictive, it changes up a lot, right? And there's an earning element to it. Like I love when I see, I earned 4 SPS. I'm just like, all right, 15 cents, right? Or however much it is, 12 to 15 cents. Let's go. And I'm like, just at this point in time, it's 12 to 15 cents. Like, let's go. I'm excited. I can't wait until either SPS is more or I decide to take that value off the table, because it's like for every win, I'm stacking pennies that turn into dollars. And as long as this project continues forward, those dollars are earning more dollars, right? With staked SPS and vouchers and all that. So it's just fun from that perspective because I can do that in small, quick hits. I don't think we've seen another game, or at least I haven't seen another game that can do it that effectively. But I'm busy and just have a lot going on. Other people would love to play hours of Parallel or hours of whatever ends up being the Fortnite first-person shooter or Big Time or all these other games, right? So we'll see how that all shakes out. I don't know how I went down that rabbit hole, but let's catch up on the rest of the chat. Rift Summoner, what's up, man? Good to see you. Steve says, I've been buying up packs on the secondary 20 at a time, but that was when DEC was at peg discount. Will move me to shop. Interesting. Okay. Also, I have 20 Izziar and 7 gold foil. If I can't trade the extras, that is going to be lame. All right, so there you go. Someone like Steve is giving his opinion. I don't know how much SPS stake you have, Steve, but I would imagine many people who are in the same position as you and have as much SPS or more staked as you are going to feel the same way. Perhaps old remains soulbound, and when the new set of soulbound come out, you could burn DEC to get versions of the cards that you don't own or extra copies you need to max out. Again, Splinterland's biggest criticism is changing things after the fact. You just see people complaining about that all the time. This, in my opinion, just does not seem like a worthwhile hill for Splinterlands to die on, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I know the ideas seem cool and all that, but you're just going to run into a lot of issues. I recall him discussing this in a town hall when Soulbound transition happened. I could be wrong though. Maybe. I mean, if you're able to find it, I'm happy to give it a listen and change my opinion. But once again, so if you're saying you recall this in the town hall when Soulbound transition happened, is this a year ago? Because they announced Soulbound last January. There's a lot that's changed since January of last year. I'd love to get an updated opinion. So if he said it recently, then maybe I'd lend more credence to it. But again, to me, this is like a hill to not die on for the team. Also on high level champion, I only lose to guys with high level rebellion cards. Same old problem, not enough high level players. Also high level champion, I only lose to guys. Wait, don't you have a max rebellion deck yet or no? Any opinions shared upon Soulbound reward card launch was based on assumptions for how it would play out. A lot has changed, and many of the assumptions could be invalid. I agree with that, Brandon. To your point and to Bitcoin 6 point, right? Like Matt became head honcho 3-ish months ago, right? 3.5 or almost 4 months ago. And whenever he was asked about the Soulbound thing, he deflected because it was all about rebellion and land, right? And then he even said, once land and rebellion are out, we'll give it a little bit more critical thought. So maybe he'll come to the same conclusion as Bitcoin 6. I don't know, right? But I just haven't seen anything that would make sense for that. Especially considering, I don't know when the proposal came out, but the unlock for Soulbound reward cards on land, whenever that came out, I mean that's something that Matt pushed forth, I think. Birds, bees, and trees, what's going on? Do we forge in Splinter Forge? No, I haven't really touched Splinter Forge in a minute. Jim Morgan's in the house. Where does one buy a Bitcoin ETF? Asking for a friend. You know, you probably should be able to buy it on like Robinhood or any exchange. Oh, we're down to 45. Oh, 45.9. But let's see. I don't remember. I think HODL is one of the tickers. HODL. Yeah, that's the VanEck Bitcoin Trust. Yeah, lots of people taking profit right now. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a massive dump today and then it rockets up to 60,000 tomorrow. But we'll see. Check out. I mean, but look at this, guys. Look at that chart. Look at that chart. It's just straight up and man, everybody is calling me right now. Holy crap. It's like literally family, then Walking Keys, then Darkest Night. I mean, maybe everybody's just excited about the Bitcoin ETF. So I'm going to have to call him back afterwards. Usually with Darkest Night, he's just like, he's probably wondering my thoughts on Bitcoin ETF because we were talking about it a little bit last night. All right. So Jim says, I place trades on Thinkorswim through Charles Schwab. I think any US brokerage. Yeah, HODL is the VanEck one. ARKB is the one from ARK Invest with Kathy Wood. IBIT is that? IBIT, I think that's BlackRock, right? IBIT. I'm like 99% sure this is BlackRock's. There's also FBTC, which I think is funny. That's the Fidelity Bitcoin one. Fun times, guys. Fun times ahead. All right. I want Battles 2.0. Don't we all, man? Don't we all? Steve says, I don't have a full max rebellion, but I'm close, but I don't lose to straight chaos teams really ever. Yeah, I mean, I still lose to straight chaos teams, but I don't even have a max chaos set. I will say for gold, I'll say that the most annoying one that I come across is Grimbar Dunesmith. I was coming across Mantaroth a lot more, but I haven't played against him recently, and I started playing him more even though I only have a silver level one. So I need to grab a couple more BCX. Given that there's maybe 15 key cards right now. Rebellion just keeps pumping even when BTC drops recently. I think I have to disagree with that. Where do you see Rebellion pumping? We've finally seen the estimated value come below $4, and then actually the estimated value was below the pack price on Hive Engine. So yeah, Rebellion is not pumping. Rebellion is hitting the brakes, which was going to happen at some point. I'm not trying to frame that as a negative thing. Maybe you can frame it as a negative thing if you think that Rebellion was going to pump for a lot longer. But it is what it is. Look, I didn't get nearly enough Gladiator Soulbound rewards to max it, so it would suck for me, but it does technically add variety to battles. Again, not disagreeing with you, Bitcoin Sig. Again, from an objective standpoint, I would love to see more Soulbound only rewards. I think it would just clean a lot of stuff up and, you know, make people focus on SPS as like the primary thing. Plus, we would need more SPS syncs and things like that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's even more and more expensive to buy Rebellion cards. I'm conflicted on selling my Rebellion cards, buying more. All right, I think we just disproved this, Rift Summoner. The average value, pack value for Rebellion literally dropped like 20%. It was like $4.45. Now it's $3.71. So I'm thinking going for SPS since it's below 3 cents. Always fun to go for SPS. But here's the question now. Let's say we slow down. Let's say Bitcoin Bitcoin ETF ends up being sold in news event, which so far, in the first 2 hours, it seems like it's trending that way, right? But when's the next catalyst coming in for SPS? Because I think with the slow start that the team has had to 2024 with, you know, no town hall, no major releases, all of that. I'm trying to figure out when the next major like SPS catalyst is going to come in. Because I don't think that there's anything that's going to be as big as Land or Rebellion were. Conflicts could be cool, but conflicts, you pay in vouchers, which, I mean, it'll be good for vouchers, but that's about it. I personally I don't know. Maybe I don't want to be too bearish here, but I just don't think that many people are going to go speculate by buying a ton more Rebellion packs just because conflicts are out. I think most people are probably just going to take whatever they have, throw it on wagons, and let that be that. Especially if they don't change like how all that stuff is going to work. Now, if they do, and they give people an incentive to hit like certain levels or whatever, then maybe. But at this point in time, I'm not seeing it there. Okay, what are the other catalysts? Let's try to think through. Grain LP could be interesting, but there's like how much DEC is that going to lock up? I think I was calculating like if we do $50,000 worth of liquidity, that's 250 million DEC. That's not terrible. Right? But the team mints like 50 million every couple of days whenever we go too low on the team thing, right? 50 million. But see, look at this. They don't even care now. Well, actually, sorry. It's not even that they don't even care, but they wouldn't let this go below like 270 for a while. Then it became 250, and now here we are sitting at 240. So what does that signal? And this is all speculation. My guess is that, I mean, look at this 242 million. That's $242,000 with DEC at peg. So if the team, let's see. If the team needs immediate capital to cover expenses and things like that, they actually don't need to convert credits to DEC right away. They can pocket the credits because they can always buy DEC on the marketplace later with other potential assets. So my guess is we're still seeing credits come in, right? A couple $1,000 a day. But if the team is not taking those credits and immediately using them to burn, it's because they need the credits. So there's probably expenses and things that they need to pay. Now, I'm not trying to get into like a whole, the team's running out of money. I like I've said this many times, I'm not worried about runway at all. Maybe that'll come back to bite me, but runway is just not even something that I think about. I don't think that we even need to talk about it anymore. I think they have a decent amount of runway, but that would be one of the things that I would think of. If they need like quick access to capital, then they would just take whatever credits are coming in, because they have a, $242,000 ish, 200,000 plus kind of cushion here, and they can always go buy DEC at a later time, especially if DEC is lower in value. And if it's not, then they just buy SPS and burn it. Where does one purchase SPS and how? Please advise. Crypto.com. If you're looking for a centralized exchange. If you're looking for a decentralized exchange, you can buy ETH or BNB. Actually, in the US, BNB might be tough, but wherever you can get BNB, and then put that onto a private wallet. Use PancakeSwap for BNB or SushiSwap, or maybe even Uniswap for SPS, for ETH. And talking about Gold Foil Rebellion cards, it's even more expensive to buy cards, but conflicted on selling. Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, but isn't it fascinating that if Gold Foil Rebellion cards are going up in value, or probably just becoming more scarce, that's actually not raising the overall pack value? Pumping the brakes. How much are Rebellion Gold Foil now? I don't know. Let's go check, since we keep talking about it. But my point still stands. No matter how much they are, it's not enough to raise the pack value. Oh, wait, this is just summoners. Oops. I'm actually curious. So let's look at legendaries, and then I want to compare them to Chaos Legion Core. So what's the most expensive legendary for Chaos Legion Core? Don't tell me it's this dude. Really? Legionnaire Alvar? That's hilarious. Okay, fine. It's the same price or more as all of the legendary summoners. Okay, fine. We'll just say $80 for the summoners. But really, if we just look at units and we exclude Legionnaire Alvar, we're still at about $70. $70 Bakjira. I will say between like $60 to $70. In that range. So when you compare that, what's the lowest here? 89. The highest is about 150. And then there's just not many Arcanes out there. That is a card that I would like at some point, but not yet. Now I am curious to see if we go to like commons, for example. I think we were looking at like the Lurking Puffer. These guys that were at like 450, so they've actually gone up in value. But well, you know what? Okay, fine. This is an interesting kind of dynamic that's happening. Rift Summoner. The scarcity of gold foils are starting to be felt, but the rest of the pack value is dropping because there's just too many regular foils, right? We're not minting enough gold foils, and there's just too many people trying to offload all the regular foil stuff that they get. That is dragging pack value down, which means arbitrage opportunists are no longer jumping in and opening a ton more packs, which would lead to more gold foils being minted. So actually this, it's slowing down significantly. And I don't know what's going to be the catalyst that changes that. If more people buy some of these gold foils, like, so for example, let's say, I mean, there's only, we'll say this one, there's only 26 Zedicas. But how many would you have to buy? You have to buy a decent amount before it goes up in value. And that by itself is not going to move the market. Let's actually jump back up to legendaries, because gold foil legendaries are where the money's made. But even still, check that out. That's not a very wide spread, 215 to 245. So even if people buy a couple of canes, it's not going to change much. Dark Blast, only 4, 150 to 175. Oh, there's only one of this dude. So that could be interesting. Runeseer Savaya. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, everything, at least from what we've seen, is priced to move. Right? There's not people trying to like pull in a big profit. Look at this. Look at the spread, 120 to 129. That's all competitive pricing. So what do I mean by that? Let's go back to core and see if we can get any examples. Let's look at Immortalis. Boom, right here. So you got $79 or $80 for a single BCX, right? But then look at the spread. This jumps up to 125 at the highest level. So somebody's really trying to like, oh, BB Omega. Shout out to BB Omega. He's trying to get paid for those BCX. Well, let's check out Legionnaire Alvar. All right, here's another great example. Legionnaire Alvar, right? If you buy 3 or 4 of them, right, all under $100, the price jumps 50% or more. So with the Rebellion, you probably just have a lot of pack flippers, which, again, it's not a bad thing. It's just what we expect. But there's not people holding on for the longish term here, right? This spread goes from 75 to 100 there, but then you got Super Manny, who's trying to make some cash with Yasik. That's fine. Let's look at Bakjira. Oh, here's one that's not too crazy. 68 to 72. Now let's see, out of curiosity, how does Rift Watchers roll? There's only one inevitable. All right, there's 5 of these guys. 333 to 399. 250 to 300. 210. Oh, okay, interesting. What's the arbitrage on this look like? Rift Watchers. Negative. All right, so people will just be playing the lottery there. So really the only arbitrages that are in the positive right now is Chaos Legion Core, which is like the one thing people don't want. All right. Fascinating. All right. Phoenix, did someone arbitrage Rebellion down, or is demand just drying up? Could be a combination of both. Because we're not, I would say the arbitrage is not there anymore. I mean, obviously it's not there anymore, but we're not seeing the pack sales driving it. I don't know that demand is drying up, but demand might still be sitting on the sidelines like me. Bitcoin ETF has been confusing, considering one day ago SEC said it wasn't having because their Twitter account was hacked. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's kind of crazy how just blatant corruption is. That whole like their account was hacked, and then if you were watching like I don't know which news outlet it was, CNBC, MSNBC, I don't know, one of them. I don't want to remember it incorrectly, but like they framed it not as, you know, the SEC's account was hacked. They said that Twitter or X was hacked. And so it's just they continue their attack on Twitter. See, I would be okay with going to Soulbound only on reward cards for the next set, but they also need to change the system from random to planned, no more than 30 copies. Yeah, I mean, if they were to do Soulbound only, it really needs to work in a way in which if you play enough, you get everything, right? So excuse me, almost like a battle pass type system, where it's like, okay, like maybe each card, see, it takes away some of the fun of it, but it's like maybe for each chest you open, you get a certain amount of like credits. And I'm not talking about regular credits. I'm talking about just like you get a certain amount of value, non-transferable, but then you get to go into the store, right? So you get to go into the store and then you get to buy whatever it is you want, the Soulbound store, where you can go in and you can be like, I don't know how they would price this stuff. Again, it's just a matter of doing the math, right? So somebody can do it. It's just a matter of actually figuring it out. But let's say if you wanted like a gold foil legendary card, it's going to be super expensive. Now, there could be instances in which your chest that you open, which gives you, you know, those token credits, has like 11x value of what it should be, right? So that thing will still be in there. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I just got enough, right? So instead of people freaking out because they got a gold foil legendary, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I just got enough to go buy a gold foil legendary. And then for people in, you know, lower leagues, let's say they want to grind in bronze and silver, and this is where it gets funky, right? Because the amount of chest farming that would happen would be interesting. Granted, there's no actual monetary rewards at the end. So now I'm getting really wrapped up in this line of thought. So there's no monetary rewards at the end, but people could still, like in bronze or silver, be burning a ton of DEC for extra energy to get more and more of these chests so that they can come away with gold foil copies. Now, does that hurt the ecosystem? Actually, it helps the ecosystem in certain ways in the short term. In the long term, does it hurt the ecosystem by having a lot of these maybe automated bot accounts playing in bronze and silver having full gold foil decks? And so therefore the bonuses that they get on every reward and every game that they win would be like 50 to 60% or 70%, right? If everything ends up being a gold foil card. It could be. You know, I've been sitting on this video idea for a long time, which I know it's just going to get me a lot of salt, but I'm not even the first person to say it. I wonder if there's an argument to be made that Soulbound reward cards you shouldn't be able to earn with them unless you unlock them. But that's a conversation for a different time. For the SEC hack, cause a lot of people to FOMO and lose money. That has to hurt the launch. Yeah, probably. We need a social Splinterfest or SoCal Splinterfest. Winterfest. Let's do it, man. I want to come to SoCal. I have a music producer that I work with there that I need to go and reconnect with post-COVID. And so we've been talking, but I don't have the projects ready. But I would love to actually come to SoCal and knock out two birds with one stone. Can anybody send me $1 USD worth of BNB? I ran out of gas fees. I can pay in SPS for it. Shoot me if you don't get anything, shoot me a DM. Roof Summoner. I might have some extra BNB. All right, I'm excited long term for land. I don't think we get anything but grain LP this year for land. Whoa, Mitchell, that is so bearish. You don't think we get anything except the grain LP this year? Oh man, I think we're gonna get a lot more, which should hopefully make you happy. If I'll tell you this, if we only got the grain LP between now and December 31st, that's really disappointing. I think a lot of people are doing what I am and waiting for a pump to bring more money into the game. True. So this is the thing, right? There's a lot of people who play in crypto no matter what. So they're holding Bitcoin, Solana, Matic, and you know, whenever this happens, it's the large caps that go first, right? Bitcoin, ETH, then it goes into a lot of the smaller, or sorry, mid caps, and then comes into small caps. So people will take their profits and then come and buy SPS or Splinterlands assets. Let's see. With the halving and the ETF running stuff could get wild for a bit. Yeah, that's why I think the summer is going to be a little bit more interesting, just because summers tend to be, but we'll see. Rebellion regular foils are down, but gold foils are slightly up for some cards. Yeah, but it's just the quantity of regular foils that's dragging everything down. So Brandon says, definitely agree with your idea about soulbound reward cards. Unless unlocked, they hit your earnings just like starter cards. Same for Gladiator. Yeah, but see, once again, right? So I'd be curious to get Bitcoin Sig on this, just because we were talking about it earlier. You're gonna get a ton of people who are like, man, I worked so hard for these cards, I earned all of them, and now you're gonna take the earning potential away unless I spend more. Which is a valid argument. I know I'm saying it in a weird voice, but it's a valid argument. But I think that we need to move more in that direction. It's got to start somewhere. Already got the gas. Oh, sweet. Okay. VetV is a G. I think an NFT Web3 gaming ETF is possible this year. What does that even look like? No way. I think an ETH ETF is possible since they're talking about it, but I don't like Web3 gaming ETF. I don't think that's going to happen. There's too much shenanigans happening. And I'll tell you this, Rift Summoner, if there ends up being a Web3 gaming ETF that comes out, Splinterlands will not be included. SPS will not be included. Just it's a game that is not on Coinbase, right? So first and foremost, well, actually that's not necessarily first and foremost, but the DAO for SPS exists outside of US regulation. So anybody who'd be setting one of these up would probably avoid SPS. So not only the fact is SPS like, the 900th ranked project or something like that. Maybe we're not even in the top 1,000 anymore. But from a regulation standpoint, the scrutiny that will be coming to Splinterlands and SPS, one, I don't think is anything that people would want. But also, I don't think people would include it there. I'll put it this way. Land was supposed to be released Q4 2021. I'm super bullish for Land. I think Land by 2030 is going to be cool. I'm not even trying to be like facetious about it. I think it's, to your point, it's going to take time for Land to be all these crazy things. Like, for example, Darkest Night wants to, or his vision was like, man, I'd love to like be able to visit my land and walk around my land in VR. And I'm like, all right, that sounds awesome, but that sounds like 2 or 3 bull run cycles away for the team to get enough money to, one, develop Land to a point where it's actually fun, and then, or to like fun in terms of like and engaging, and 2, to actually get the resources to start developing in VR, let alone a web-based app. We haven't even hit mobile yet. So, yeah, I mean, as long as the team is able to keep things going, I think that there's a lot of promise for Splinterlands in the future. But they have to be in a better position to capitalize on any and all success that they have, which, I know a lot of people will use the past 18 months or whatever to take a shot at Aggie and say that, he spread everything too thin and that Matt's a little bit more conservative. I mean, I'll agree that Matt is much more conservative. But what I think made their partnership interesting, and what I wish maybe had been a consideration before the change, and I know co-CEOs isn't really a thing. But it's like, I like the vision that Aggie had to build, a huge sprawling network of games and things. And so like the scope is what really drew me in for what Splinterlands and the Splinterlands ecosystem could be in 10 years. Matt is much more practical. He's much more pragmatic, which is great, right? But at the same time, I don't know what his vision is. He hasn't really talked like long-term vision since he took over, right? For him, it's just like, we need to figure out how do we get through the next 6 to 9 months, right? Which I think we're okay with now. considering that was his rhetoric during September, October, before the launch of Rebellion, before the launch of Land. Now that we're past that, successfully, I might add, my hope is that he comes out with one of those awesome banger town halls, maybe next Thursday, maybe not, maybe the week after, but to just come out and be like, all right, here's what we have planned for 2024. But here's where we would like to take things like, long term. Now, granted, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen because I think the team is still very narrowly focused on improving new player experience and Land. But that's where I'm saying things are missing now. And so while I think it's great that Matt is doing a fantastic job, again, I'm not trying to take any shots or take anything away from him. I think he's doing a fantastic job and he's delivered everything he said he was going to deliver the past 3-4 months. But in his own words, he wants to bring another CEO in. And if I'm reading between the lines there, it's because Matt understands that he's a pragmatic one, wants to be more conservative, but you also need somebody on the other side that says, hey, this is an awesome idea. We're going to scale it up and we're going to make it fantastic. All right, we're gonna take a $500 million business and turn it into a $50 billion business. Right, we're gonna 100x this. Which again, I think Aggie had the vision for it, but the execution wasn't quite there. Obviously, right? So, not trying to take any shots at Aggie. I hope Aggie's super successful on the GLX side. It's just a little disappointing that nothing's going on there. But again, just reading between the lines for Matt, right? If in his mind, he doesn't want to be doing the CEO stuff, it's because he wants to focus on building the game, not building the empire, right? Building the empire, managing, capital and all this stuff coming in. That's not stuff that he wants to do personally for himself. He doesn't get the fulfillment out of it. He's just doing it now because he has to. So again, it's not a knock on his abilities because he literally said it. So if we're just kind of reading between the lines there, that would be my guess. And maybe my hope for 2024, or maybe not even 2024, but maybe 2025 is that we do get a new CEO of Splinterlands. And again, I'm saying this, so don't clip it out of context. I'm saying this because that's what Matt wants, not because Matt's doing a terrible job. But my hope is that if Matt gets what he wants, that Splinterlands can become much more stable as a business, maybe get the funding, maybe sell more packs, maybe a market, a bull market or a pump that happens over the next 18 months, 24 months, we'll call it. That Matt can actually just go and be like, you know what? All right, now we can afford somebody who's going to come in, align with my vision of what I want to build, but then figure out how to take it to the next level. And I don't know, and I don't want to speculate on the relationship between Aggie and Matt outside of whatever they've said publicly, but clearly they disagreed on a lot of things. So if Matt brings someone that he agrees with on a lot of things, and that person is then able to implement the ideas and they can work more in harmony rather than disagreeing on a bunch of stuff, that would be my hope. Again, not because there's anything wrong, but because that's Matt's wish as stated during his first town hall as CEO. Any Web3 ETF will pump a lot of blue chip Web3 games with it. Yeah, true, but I don't think we need an ETF for that to happen. We saw it happen in 2021 with one game taking off. I think if one game takes off again, whether they have backing, whether it's just serendipitous or whatever the case is, I think the rest of the market will follow. Bitcoin said, yeah, correct on the VR opinion. Stylists has spent tens of millions and a few years of devs to get their 3D VR showroom and need tens of millions more to actually get the full 3D gameplay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot, guys. Like, Splinterlands needs to become a massive success before they can even think about spending tens of millions of dollars on things. Like, we're literally talking about, the team spends $250,000 on servers and salaries and all this stuff, right? Per month. How can we make sure that they get that much money? We're not even talking about the super, super higher level here. But I hope we get there. I really do. Who would be your top 5 selections to help Matt? Dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's CEOs aren't like NFL coaches where it's just like, oh, he's no longer there. Let's scoop him up now. He can come help our team. I mean, who would you say? I think, if anything, Splinterlands would need to get into a position where they could poach someone from the either Web 2 or Web 3 gaming sector. And the thing is, in order to do that, right, just like with any job, right, if you go to like a well-established company, they're not going to pay you as much as a smaller company that's trying to poach you and get you to come and, like, work there, because they can't offer as many benefits and stability and all that. There's a little bit more volatility, but the upside is way higher. So my guess is that we would need to be successful on our own first, and then go and poach someone from another highly successful project. Skyer, what's going on? All right. Oh, we're coming up to 11 o'clock here my time, which is, I think, when I want to end this. Let me see. What do I got going on? All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this too close. So any final questions? Any final thoughts before we wrap up here? Once again, awesome to see the Bitcoin ETF live. It's looking like a solid news event. I hope it's not. Might take a little bit to get there. We'll see. Get someone from Web 2? No way. They wouldn't have a clue how to navigate Web 3 and would instantly try to rape their user base. I disagree with this KQ forever. I once again, we're bringing in somebody that Matt wants to work closely with, that shares and aligns vision with. So I think to look at Web 2 and to say, oh, we don't want anyone from there because they don't do whatever. Like, understand that Web 2 gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They figured out how to be successful with it. And I'll tell you this, not all Web 2 games, or not all Web 2 gamers feel like the games that they're playing are raping the user base. They are delivering solid experiences that people are willing to pay for. So let's not categorize and demonize Web 2, right? Web 2 is where all this was born from. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to cherry pick the best parts of Web 2 to help develop Web 3. Because let's be real, like, Web 3 games some of them are doing fantastic from a marketing perspective. Some of them are doing fantastic from an economic perspective and a design perspective and all these things. But, nobody's got it down yet. Nobody's a smashing hit that can compete truly with a Web 1 or Web 2 game. So this is going to be an evolution, and it's going to go, in my opinion, I think a little bit faster than what people expect. But that's just the nature of technology too. It's not just Web 3 gaming. It's just, you look at technological adoption. It's happening faster and at a faster rate. So gaming is just a part of that, right? It's just the byproduct. Why not hire Darkest Night? Oh man. A Weird Beard, maybe, or you? Oh, me? Wow, that's very kind and generous. I like Hardpoint, maybe hire Within. I don't know. Aggie can come back. Would it be best to hire someone from another game, successful, or Stever? Yeah, I mean, I'm not an executive, nor would I want to be an executive of Splinterlands. No, sorry, that's not. I'm not trying to throw any shade at Splinterlands. It's just that's not how I would want to spend my time. But I don't have the experience nor the desire to work as like a CEO. It sounds cool, but I'm sure it's not as glamorous, and I think you can hear that from Matt, right? So you need somebody who has like the drive to come in and want to build something or to expand something greatly beyond what it currently is. So I don't know. Darkest Night, I mean, I asked him, we did that live stream a couple months back where I'm just like, if you were CEO, what would you do right now, right? That was an interesting kind of video that we posted. But I don't think he'd even want to. personally speaking for him, but maybe, who knows? Steve, you want to be Steve? Would you do it if you were nominated, or Walking Keys and Gank? Now you need to see who knows how to raise money, create pitch books, and speak to venture capital investors. There you go. You need somebody who knows how to play the game and has a network, right? Sorry, not play the game literally, but play the game of being CEO, of taking companies to the next level. I'm enjoying Splinterlands more than Web 2 card games. If Splinterlands is Web 3, I would still choose this as my card game of choice just for fun. But see, Rift Summoner, what's interesting about this perspective, and I agree with you, because I'm clearly not playing any clearly not playing any Web 2 card games, but I also understand like the investment into it is substantial. So you and I are very different from Web 2 gamers. Web 2 card gamers, they're not thinking about how much money they can make, nor are they thinking about games as an investment of financial time, right? They are looking at it not even from an investment of leisure time. It's literally just, I want to play this game, I have some time, and I'm obsessed, and I like it, right? So the thing is, we can hold the carrot over Web 2 gamers as much as possible, or as much as we want. But I really don't think Web 2 gamers should be the focus, right? Which is why I like the Ali Strauza thing was interesting, but oh my God, this is the fourth call that I'm getting from a different person. Oh, okay. I really do have to run. I'm enjoying Splinterlands. All right, so I lost my train of thought. Okay, so a lot of the Web 2 gamers are not going to make the jump over just because they're not looking at it from that perspective. Now, we can wave the carrot, as I was saying, in front of all of the Web 2 gamers, and they're going to come over and be like, oh, wait, I can earn money? That sounds interesting. Let me check this out. And then they come in and it's just like, oh, wait, no, I have to spend $100 or $1,000 or something in order to be able to earn anything significant. You're going to get a lot of people, especially because we're still mired in crypto. We're still mired in crypto and, scams and all the stuff that are going to immediately turn away, or they're just going to look at that and say, well, I don't want to invest in my games. I play my games because they're fun for me, right? So this is a very small slice of the population that I think understands and appreciates what Splinterlands is trying to build. And I'm not saying that like other people won't, or that it will always be that way, but it also doesn't, this slice is going to grow in proportion to the rest of the technological adoption. So we don't need to get people who aren't going to be interested in what's there. We need to reach the people that are already interested. So that's why, to me, it's all about finding other Web3 gamers, right? So we should be partnering or trying to pull in from something like a Parallel TCG, which in my opinion does Web 2 way better than Splinterlands. Splinterlands is even trying to do Web 2, right? You can go and play Parallel 100% for free. Understand that. You can play Parallel 100% for free. And if you're good at the game, you can rise up the ranks. You won't earn anything, but you can rise up the ranks, go all the way to the top. You won't be earning as you go along. But if you're a top player, because you've been playing the game and you've earned all the cards by doing your battle pass, by playing the game, and knocking out starter missions, earning more of these packs and whatever through playing, you could essentially go for free, right? Be one of the top players, and then get invited to the first kind of like creator invitationals that they had, where they invited like the top 16 or 24 players or something like that recently, and they had like over $10,000 in prizes. So once again, is that for everybody? No, but that has way more appeal to the broke Web 2 player than it does to than Splinterlands does. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry because they're taking the dollars from users, whereas Web 3 is about trying to preserve it for the community. See, man, you know what? Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not a fan of like, I get it. Web 2, I don't like the model either. Okay. I don't necessarily like the model because now we know that there's something that better out there that exists. But understand that people out there aren't suckers. I mean, some of them are, but they're not all suckers. They look at whatever value is being offered by a Web 2 gaming experience, and they choose to spend their money there. because it makes them happy. It gives them satisfaction. So again, I'm not trying to defend multi-billion-dollar gaming companies. Obviously, there's a lot of shady or bad acting that happens, but you got to take responsibility as a user base too. Like, these people are going out and they're enjoying it, and for them, whether they make a lot of money or little money, whatever the case is, when they look at that battle pass on Fortnite and they're like, you know what, I played this game enough, it's worth it, or I want that skin, it's worth it. Hey, like, how are you going to judge someone for that on either side of the transaction, right? Somebody offered it for a value. They did not force it. It did not add value to the game, right? Especially cosmetic stuff. It did not add, what's that called? Any kind of advantage in the game. But other people looked at it and said, you know what? I want it. You're selling that thing for $8 or $800. I want it, and I have the money to pay for it. Everything else be damned. Singer and CEO. All right, so I love the idea that you have the mechanic to access your entire library of cards. No deck limit of choice or the randomness of drawing cards, but the freedom of choice. That'd be interesting. So I agree with sell the news event, but also we need to give it time. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that if you're talking about the Bitcoin ETF, but I think we just need to give the rest of the markets. We need to give retail normies a chance to figure out what's going on with Bitcoin, and that's just not going to happen until, in my opinion, not heavily until after the halving, when the supply shock is felt and we see the corresponding price action go, right? Because I'll tell you this, my aunt and my cousins who are not orange pilled and don't have any idea what's going on, or my friends who are not orange pilled, they're not going to be running around. Nobody's calling me asking about, like, hey, what's going on with Bitcoin? There's an ETF. No, they don't care. They're living their lives. But I'll tell you this, post halving, if the supply shock is felt as it has for the past 4 halvings or 3 halvings, right? If we hit 70K because of that over the next 18 months, all of a sudden, every news channel is going to be showing Bitcoin hits new all-time high. People going to be like, what the hell, right? I saw Bitcoin drop down to 16,000. Now it's back up to 75. What's going on? Oh, I need to get in because everybody's talking about 150 or 300 or 500. That's when I'll start getting the calls. That's when the ETF is going to take off, because people are going to realize, oh, I don't know how, like, do I make a Coinbase account? Oh, but then I have to, like, put money, and I don't know if I really trust Coinbase, but oh, holy crap, Fidelity has one. ARK has one, BlackRock has one, and I have all this money sitting in my IRA or my 401k. That's when the money comes in. All right, so I just saw an article about Web 5. And you would love to be CEO? Oh, well, maybe never run a company. It might not be the best. I don't think I'd love to be CEO. I mean, I'd love to launch my own company at some point, but I think, I don't know. I don't know. I disagree. I play Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Vanguard for the sake of earning money from playing a game through reselling. Also, all these card games are expensive to get into as well. All right, but here, Rift Summoner. I played all those games not because of the money, but because I enjoyed them. And I'll bet you that a lot of other people who are playing MTG or Pokemon or collecting all these cards, they weren't thinking about how much money they could make. I was just playing with my friends at the time, and it was satisfying enough for me to kick their butts in a battle. We need pre-web gamers who still play MTG. Maybe. All right. So SEO would work wonders if the team built 10 separate gaming websites with articles. Yeah, well, that's a different kind of marketing, but Mondroid, what's going on? I'd be interested in discussing this point with you after sound. I agree with KQF. By sharing profits with the community, there is a headwind against production. Web3 cannot be Web2 and vice versa. All right, let's talk about it. Let me know. We can set up some time. Obviously, text-based chat is not the best. If you want to. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought through all the implications of what I'm saying. Like, let's be real, guys. I answer all of your questions off the cuff. It's not like I get the questions pre-selected and I get to think of answers. So I could be wrong. This is no financial advice on this channel. This is just a random rambling of me. All right, last one. Do you think SPS is on its way up or tank again? I had no idea. I genuinely have no idea. I'll tell you this, and I like to look at it always through the lens of what's happening in the macro space. We'll just say like Bitcoin macro, and then through the Splinterlands lens. From the Bitcoin macro lens, if Bitcoin continues to, have a lot of momentum post ETF and going into the halving, well, you're talking. I'm assuming you're talking about maybe just the next 3 months, which is what I'll focus on. Over the next 3 months, if this ETF ends up bringing a ton of funds and interest into Bitcoin, that is definitely going to filter interest down into the rest of the ecosystem. If it does not, then we get into a position where, we either stall out and we start going down again, because keep in mind, the reward token for literally everything in the Splinterlands ecosystem is SPS, meaning that everybody who is relying on this for any kind of money or to pay their bills, whatever, they are net sellers, and there's not enough net buyers because the hype and FOMO of the crypto market is not there. Speculation is just not there. Now, through the Splinterlands lens, that's also very opaque, simply because we have no idea what the team plans on releasing and when. Right now, the speculation based on the comments that they've put out is there is going to be conflicts, which is not an SPS catalyst. It is a voucher catalyst. Now, the indirect effect is if conflicts end up being so awesome and everybody just needs to go out and buy more packs, then sure, we might see some flywheel action, people bringing more money in, and that could be helpful. I personally, Papa Bear, don't think that's going to be the case. I think a lot of folks are going to look at conflicts and they're just going to put in whatever they have. They're just going to buy enough wagons for whatever they have. People are not going to speculate on Rebellion the same way that they did with Chaos Legion. So could we sell another 50,000 packs when conflicts go live? Maybe. But is that going to move the price from 3 cents to 4 cents? No, I don't think so. Right. And that 50,000 packs is a lot considering we're moving like 1 or 2 a day. So until and unless we get that catalyst, and Bitcoin is kind of echoing my point here, there has to be a driver for SPS price. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to move up. If anything, we're going to slowly bleed down as more and more SPS gets given out and is sold on the market as rewards. So, and again, that's not a bad thing. That's just an expectation of what happens with SPS, what happens with your reward token. People putting stuff in LPs, for example. This is all the example I love to give, right? If I want to compound my earnings in LPs, I have to sell SPS, right? It just doesn't matter whether I'm putting it into an SPS pool or I'm putting it into a DEC pool. I have to sell SPS. So there are net sellers who are hardcore investors in this game because all they want to do is invest more. They want to take their earnings and invest more. And guess what? In order for them to do so, they got to sell SPS. So you can say that it's a flaw in the system design, but that's just what it is, right? So, all right, guys, that's all I have for you guys in this video. You know what? I'm going to try and do some, because the next couple of weeks for me are going to be interesting, but I'll see if I can do some extra live streams this weekend. Maybe parallel, maybe Splinterlands, maybe just talking in general, because I enjoy hanging out. So we'll see where things go. But if I don't chat with you before who knows when, I hope you have a fantastic weekend ahead. Everybody stay safe. I'll catch up with you soon. Enjoy the NFL playoffs if you're watching. That's it. Peace.